Good evening. My name is Bill Reimer, and I'm back for the almost daily Regent College bookstore pick of the day. And today's pick is The Plague by Albert Camus. Uh, Humor aside, this is a serious time, and we are called to be neighbors to each other. Today, I received a mask, not this one. That's a homemade one that I made, but one that was in the lobby. A whole box of them when we were coming in today, and along with the Bible verse uh, pinned to it, and it says, "And he said to them, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment, and the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself." We live in a building with 220 or so folk living here, 13 stories, and a Christian left these in the lobby earlier today. Another book I'd like to mention is entitled Village of Secrets, Defying the Nazis in Vichy, France. It's the story of La Chambon, where Camus spent some time in the years 1942, 1943 in the highlands of France, just southwest of Lyon. And he composed the book The Plague during that time. And you can think about the parable that it is. But in the village of La Chambon was a cluster of Huguenot and Plymouth Brethren churches or fellowships that were involved in rescuing hundreds of Jewish children and others, along with some other Christians and even secularists, but heavily Huguenot and Plymouth Brethren. Today I asked my friend Steve Garber if he had any thoughts on the plague and the relevance for the time, because I knew that he uses the book in a class that he teaches at Regent College. Steve, a professor there at Regent. And I was expecting a few lines from him, but instead he sent me a whole essay that he had written a couple of weeks ago for a church life journal out of the University of Notre Dame. They had asked him to write an essay on the plague, given the times that we're in. And Steve begins the essay with a quote from Camus, and these are the words. "I have no idea what's awaiting me or what will happen when this all ends. For the moment, I know this: there are sick people and they need curing." Steve has written this essay, and I've enclosed it with the tweet here in the link. And I'll end with the final paragraph that Steve has written. As we live into the reality of our own plague in our time, the questions that shape the life of Camus become our questions too, feeling their weight as we must. But we can learn from faithful folk, men and women who saw themselves implicated for love's sake, knowing their vocations made them responsible for the way the world is and for the way the world could be. That is our reason for being the church, called to live our lives for the life of the world. And there are many things we can do in this time, even when we're self-isolated. We can pick up the phone and call elderly friends. We can sometimes deliver food or help material with funds. So the Village of Secrets is available on our Aereo site. as well as the plague. So thank you and blessings. And folks, the 7 o'clock sirens and pan banging and clapping has just begun here in our residence and outside. And we're giving thanks for the first responders and caregivers of all types. Thank you. And sorry for the ad hoc fumbling session, but I had to wing it live. We have our home Bible study in 2 minutes on Zoom. So.